For every swing, every moment, the Milwaukee Brewers fight. It's not just about hitting the ball, it's about leaving a legacy.
The silence on the Rhys Hoskins market is deafening, strictly sketchy, and if your radar isn't pinging right now, you aren't paying attention to Matt Arnold's front office. It's the calm before the mental DFA the fan base is going to have to swallow. We're talking about the only relevant free agent from our 2025 opening day roster left on the shelf, and nobody is making a peep. It's bizarre. And look, if you want the raw scoop on the clubhouse without the boring filter of beat writers terrified of losing their press pass access, you need to subscribe right now, because I don't sugarcoat anything. The reality is our sustainable success model code for ownership is cheap, worked with 97 wins, but it leaves bodies in its wake. Hoskins is collateral damage. The guy came back from ACL surgery, ran the bases with the mobility of a fridge, but still delivered the dingers. But in this sport, loyalty is for suckers. Arnold looks at the analytics, sees Andrew Vaughn demanding reps, and Hoskins becomes old news instantly. We saw Hoskins put this lineup on his back when everyone else was in a ridiculous slump early in the season. The guy was clutch. But then June hits, the bat goes cold, the thumb blows up in July, and by the time he blinks, Vaughn has already hijacked 1B. It's ruthless, but that's the business. Hoskins got shut out by management and left off the NLDS and NLCS rosters because the Brewers don't have room to carry dead weight in the dugout, and carrying 3 first basemen on a 26-man roster is suicide. Now, he's out there rotting in free agency, probably waiting for one of those one-year prove-it deals. And the irony? His profile, power bat, cheap, clubhouse leader, is exactly what we would need if we didn't already have Vaughn and Jake Bauers platooning at the corner. The Brewers have already turned the page, treated Hoskins like a rental that expired, and now he's on his own. The market is treating Hoskins like he's toxic, and that's a joke, but it's also a buy low opportunity for anyone with guts. Maybe Kyle Tucker is clogging up the market, or GMs are obsessed with starting pitching, but leaving a 32-year-old with that kind of pop in his bat out in the cold is insane. Did he have a frustrating 2025? Yeah. Did the knee kill his defensive range? No doubt. But when he was healthy, the ball traveled. The problem is the Brewers operate with the coldness of an algorithm. They saw Andrew Vaughn rise up and realized they could get the same production for pennies on the dollar with more years of team control. It's Moneyball in your veins. Hoskins was a pro, rode the pine in the playoffs without causing a scene, which is rare for a vet. That scores points with me, but it doesn't score points in Mark Atanasio's pocket. Now, we look to the future. The core is young, and we aren't going to spend stupid money. Hoskins is going to end up signing for peanuts somewhere desperate for a fence, and honestly, I hope he has an absurd bounce-back year. The guy deserves to rebuild his value after this cursed season. What absolutely cannot happen is him landing with a division rival. Imagine this guy with a chip on his shoulder dropping a bat flip in our faces at Wrigley or in St. Louis. God forbid. Matt Arnold made the right bet letting him walk, technically speaking, because the Vaughn Bauers platoon can hold down the fort for cheaper, but it's still a bucket of ice water. Baseball is dirty, and Hoskins just found out that in Milwaukee, they move on at light speed. The question left hanging is, who's the next vet gonna be kicked to the curb the second a prospect shows out in spring training?